So apparently Tim Shieff is no longer vegan. Pretty surprised by that. Although I don't know much about the situation and I don't know much about Tim Shieff to begin with. But he was he is an athlete of some sort. He kind of has a name for himself. He has a real reputation, and he got that reputation while being vegan, as far as I know. So, yeah, he's not someone, you know, he's clearly an example of someone who would, I say, does veganism and was succeeding on veganism. Despite that, he's apparently taking advice from Savage or someone in that crew. And this is so weird. Like, why would you take advice from Savage? I mean, that guy is straight up psychopathic, and he has no problem admitting that he's psychopathic. You know, so clearly, like, mentally insane. Like, why would you take advice from a mentally insane person? So what happened to Tim Shieff? Well, like I said, I think that he was doing pretty well. I'm not quite sure what kind of vegan diet he was doing, but considering he eventually went on a 35-day fast, and he was very much for fasting, and he was also into the idea of drinking your own urine, that was actually a pretty important component of his diet. Considering all those things, I have my doubts that the rest of his diet was very healthy. But again, like I said, he was an athlete that, despite all of this, had a real name for himself. So, you know, he would probably outdo me in many things as well. And Savage as well. I mean, like, he's taking advice from Savage, but he probably would smoke Savage's ass in in many areas. So, yeah, that's kind of what I want to talk about, though. The 35-day long fast. He did that, was still vegan, and apparently after that he decided to go and eat meat. Pretty interesting stuff. So why did that happen? It's a 35-day long fast. I mean, why do you think that shit happened? And of course, he's going to feel, oh, so fucking fantastic now. Now that he's going to eat meat. Which is, of course, you know, it's because he was lacking protein and he was lacking fat. And the biggest reason that he was lacking those things was because, well, for one, he was doing a long-term fast. And maybe his diet was low in them to begin with. Again, like, I'm not sure what his diet was, but like, why is this so hard to understand for people? Like, if you do a vegan diet, yes, you have to eat enough protein, and yes, you have to eat enough fat. If you're not going to do that, you are going to suffer. Okay? And if you do eat enough of those things, well, you'll be off like me. But yeah, I know that not everyone can be vegan. I've said this in the past. I think Vegetable Police is a very good example of this. This was a guy that could barely digest any types of beans or lentils. Yeah, someone like that. Probably not good off being vegan. I don't know if the same went for Tim Shieff. Maybe he was very bad at digesting beans or something. Yeah, someone like that, absolutely. You're better off eating salmon. No doubt. But if that wasn't the case for Tim Shieff, then the reason that he's now doing this is because, again, he was very malnourished after doing a long-term fast. I've talked about this in the recent past. Doing long-term fasts are very unnatural and they are very unhealthy. And they will usually bring your body into complications that you have not previously experienced. Like, they will completely mess up your digestion and stuff like that. And yeah, of course you will be lacking in fat and protein at that point. And you know, carbohydrates. I mean, you know, you can be low in carbohydrates, but it's a lot easier to build up, you know, your glycogen stores than it is to, like, build up your fat and protein stores. So yeah, that's kind of That's kind of the thing. Now, with that being said, you know, but I don't know why he went on a 35-day fast. He was skinny to begin with. He had no excess weight, not a lot to really like burn up for, you know, to really starve himself on for 35 days. So it was absolutely ridiculous to begin with. And the thing that I want to talk about by mentioning this is that what I kind of think is that this guy, he did not have perfect health on the vegan diet. I think that, as with me, his health improved tremendously, but he could not heal everything. He could not heal every ailment. You know, I cannot say that I have perfect health. I have some health issues. Actually, I have one health issue, which is dandruff on my scalp. But even that improved a lot from veganism. But despite that, you know, it's an issue I had before I went vegan, and it's an issue I still have. It improved, but it has not gone away. However, you know, I can keep it under complete control if I do follow short-term fasts. Definitely no long-term fasts, though. But yeah, you know, like I said, I don't have perfect health, and I think that that's kind of the issue. People, they hope that they can achieve perfect health, and they hope to achieve that through diet, and often through diet alone, which for multiple reasons is very unrealistic. This is a very toxic world to begin with, and health, physical health, is also a lot related to, well, exercise. But Tim Shieff was doing that. But it's also related to mental capability. It's also related to, you know, being zen with yourself, if you will. And if you don't have that, yeah, you're still going to have issues. And not only that, in some cases, it simply is impossible to be 100% healthy. Like most people, they will be able to get rid of like 95% of the problems, and they can lose many of these problems in a relatively short amount of time. Like I know that I did that for me, but they will still have a few problems left, and sometimes you're lucky and those problems will still improve over the course of a few years. I certainly have seen this, but there will probably always be a few minor things that, or it takes like just that much more longer to get completely rid of it, or you probably will not get rid of it. And I guess that some people, they want to do like a long-term fast, and they hope that that will solve their problems in a relative short amount of time, and they will just fuck themselves up even further by doing that. Again, said this before, short-term fasts, they can be beneficial. I mean, like up to like 7 days. That isn't like completely insane, and that isn't like completely like impossible if you would live out in the nature. But anything longer than that, and especially like longer than a month, complete insanity, completely insane. You would never do that. I mean, 35 days, that's 5 weeks. That's like absolutely retarded. That is going to give you complications. And yeah, you know, he's now paying the price for it. And again, like I said, he will probably improve his health dramatically from eating meat and eggs. And then it will be like, oh, look, see, he solved his problems. He solved the he solved the problems that he got from veganism on a carnivore diet, even though he didn't get those problems from veganism to begin with. He got it because he followed ridiculous diet protocols. And, you know, these ridiculous diet protocols being shit like probably like lowering your fat and protein intake, or, you know, not eating for 35 days. With all of that being said, you know, I wish him the best of luck. But, I don't know, maybe be a little bit careful with following people like Savage, because they are insane. And if there's anything you could have learned from people like Durian Riot, it's that, you know, they can give very dangerous advice, And even if, you know, you end up getting sick from that advice, they will probably not admit that it's because of their advice. And if you are indoctrinated into their advice, then, you know, yeah, you can set yourself up for a very, very dangerous trap. Now, I thank you all for watching, and, you know, don't do long-term fasts.